Hey guys, my name's Chris and this is Financial Fitness and the sun is beating me up. Let me get up here. I got you on my toolbox this morning. I'm right in front of two gas wells that I'm gonna hook up. That's what I do here in Louisiana. It's what got me here about 13 years ago. And that's the story today, is what happened when I first got here. What got me here was a work. That's why people move. That's why they, do what they do, is for work and money. When I got here, natural gas was $10 a thousand. It went up to like $14 a thousand. It was crazy. There was work trucks and drilling rigs and welding trucks. It was nuts. We were working crazy amount of hours, and I learned a ton, and it was just a real experience. And we very well might be looking at that again. I have been noticing people posturing, getting ready. These gas companies are changing hands. There's a bunch of them lately. And it's investors doing what they do. They're getting ready. They see these cycles. I'm going to throw a chart up, and I really want you to take a screenshot of it, zoom in on it, and really just kind of mull on it and see what you think. Chart. This is a commodities, all commodities. This is wheat, oil, gas, all of it. And it looks like it is about to go straight up. Now, I don't know that. Nobody does. We very well could have some kind of massive downside, considering Russia and Ukraine and all that stuff. I made a video about heating oil and natural gas about 3 months ago. We're supposed to be in a grand solar minimum. It's supposed to be real cold. And I was figuring on heating oil and getting natural gas and oil going up. And it is. But I didn't have any idea about the Ukraine and Russia debacle. Now, if Russia moves on Ukraine and we slap some kind of sanctions on them, you think they're just going to give us oil? I don't know what these boneheads are thinking. But what I do know is what I can see around me. And there's two gas wells ready to be hooked up. There's a drilling rig right over there rigging down. We'll be hooking that one up. There's hookups over there that I've already done. And what you need to know and understand is when gourd heads like Bill Clinton and Obama, when they shut down production here on federal lands, they can only shut down on federal lands, and they can regulate private lands as much as they can, but they can't really shut them down, not yet anyway. This is a private landowner that owns this. That's why there's wells here. Point being, when they start doing that, it makes these guys go crazy because there's just less out there. It's a supply and demand thing. And it seems to be what's happening now. Now I want to roll some footage from some news clips that I took. Check them out.
To say the other factors that you've described, and those are weather related. The factor that is affecting Texas right now is we have lower nat gas production due to what we call freeze offs, which means the weather is very cold there and it's harder for nat gas producers to produce the amount of nat gas they usually do. And we have the impact of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, which is essentially putting a premium into almost every commodity that you can track, whether that's nat gas, crude oil, wheat, a huge range of commodities, just as Russia is a huge exporter of a lot of commodities, and it's kind of putting an underlying bid into the commodity complex in general. So I'd say those are the factors. It's crazy even for people who trade it every day to see those types of moves, and it is very much, in at least in that example, very technical.
What do the fundamentals suggest about where nat gas should actually be trading, if not where it's at right now?
That's such a great question. And I think the challenge in pinpointing that right now is a lot of what's pricing into gas markets is untethered to fundamentals. It's coming down to this geopolitical risk.
Mother Nature is the biggest fundamental. And, over the last 5 years, we've kind of had this energy policy where we're going to jump out the plane without our parachute and put it on in the air, which means we have a lot of renewables and a lot of intermittent infrastructure that is basically making the grid less stable and less reliable with cold shocks.
Intermittent and unreliable energy. That's what windmills and solar panels are. I think it's a great idea. Maybe we'll get there one day, but I personally know one of my best friends rebuilds humongous windmill turbines. big motors. And he's super smart, and he's done the math. He knows what it takes to rebuild them, manufacture them, upkeep them, and they don't work. I mean, they create electricity, but it has to be government subsidized. You know, am I making sense? And as far as solar panels go, they do not work good with snow and ice on top of them. We learned that last year. Texas got beat up. We got beat up. We were down for a week, and no solar panels was working. My gate on my driveway wouldn't work because it had a bunch of snow on the solar panel. So if you want good, reliable energy, it's going to be natural gas and oil. I'm sorry, you green weenies. That's just the way it is.
So,
in other words, the reliance on, let's call it, new energy technology is just not as, I guess I would say, elastic and able to respond as well as the old energy technology? I just want you to elaborate.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So we've had basically a 3 BCF a day tightening of supply and demand. And that's exacerbated in the winter. And we're not going to solar our way out of heating demand in the winter. And, you know, we've had pipelines stopped from being permitted. We haven't really put in new infrastructure as our economy has grown, as our population has grown. Mm-hmm. And so when we have these shocks to the system, we have to solve that with price. And the price is moving in much more dramatic fashion. And if this continues in the later years, we're going to see the system break. But right now, I don't think the system's going to break. I think the market is behaving rationally. We don't want to see a repeat of what happened last year in Texas and prices going completely parabolic. So traders are being very conservative and prices are rallying.
So I'm a little bit bullish on commodities at the moment. According to what's going on around me, it seems like we very well could be in this super cycle. Now, when I say commodities, it makes me think of gold and silver. You know, I love to have physical gold and silver in my portfolio. It's over there in the corner. I said love. You're not supposed to love money. I don't love it. Just have it. You know, you could keep oil. You could keep barrels of oil in the corner if you've got a big corner. It's just hard to store. Gold and silver is in coin form. You can stick in your pocket. Can't stick a barrel of oil in your pocket. You see what I'm saying? If you're interested in having a commodity that will protect your portfolio, you can check out my link to SD Bullion in the description below. Have an awesome day, guys. Like the video and subscribe if you like this kind of info. Later.